Hi everyone, I'm Benjamin Bryant from Bryant McKinnon Lawyers, and this is Heather McKinnon from Bryant McKinnon Lawyers. Hello Heather.
Hi Ben.
Hello. We're here to launch episode 48 of our podcast, The Family Matters Show. And on episode 48, Heather, we discussed wills and estate planning, which I know may seem a little boring from the outset, but it's not. And sometimes it's difficult to talk about death, but you need to. Okay, so that's what we did on episode 48. And I think it's really important that people know that they need to do that, because a lot of people think you need to put it off, but unfortunately death is one of those things that can sneak up on you. But not even just death, it could be serious incapacitation or something like that. So you never know what's around the corner. So it's really important that people get up, think about it, see a lawyer and do it. Okay? Because on this episode we talked about what happens if you die without a will. A lot of people don't know that. They don't have wills, but they actually don't know. They just assume everything goes to their partner or their children or whatever, but not always the case.
Yeah, it's really important to understand that. And I think the other thing that I'd say is the quality of your relationship can be really enhanced by your ability to talk about these subjects, which a lot of people are in denial about. So, for example, in my age group, people in their 60s who are in second relationships and have children from previous relationships, it's really important that they're very open with each other and plan how are we going to deal with our combined wealth, given that we've got children from our past relationships. That's a really important one. And the more you communicate, the better chance you have of no conflict.
That's exactly right. And not only the conflict, because sometimes the conflict can happen after you're dead and your will gets challenged. So it's really important that you do have those communications, like you said, Heather, not only for your own benefit during your lifespan, but also after your death, to try and avoid someone challenging and trying to put the pieces together, as it were, or get your ducks in a row. And it's not only a communication with others, but also a communication with yourself, because you need to keep changing your will or keep reviewing your circumstances after a marriage, after a separation or divorce or having children. You need to keep accounting for these things, because even if you think that your will says a particular something, the law might say a particular something else after this particular circumstances has changed. So it's really important that people are aware of those things. And as I said, have that conversation with themselves even about, all right, this is my circumstances now, what does that mean? What happens if? And just have an ongoing discussion.
Yeah, and we talked about the other people that are involved, like financial planners, your insurance advisors. All those people are a team that can really help you get a clear idea of what you want to do.
Yeah, and speaking of clear idea, Heather, we went into some detail explaining the difference between a will and an enduring guardian and a power of attorney, because a lot of people think they're one and the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Or they get confused about what document deals with what. So we drill down into that, trying to separate what the different documents are and what their purposes are. And some things are in the event of your death, some things are in the event of your incapacitation. And it's important to know which is which and what the intention is, and that the intention that you had at the signing of the document remains the same 3 years, 5 years, or whatever on down the track. And lastly, Heather, I think we spoke about what happens if you don't get a lawyer. Can you do a will without a lawyer? Is that even possible? So we talked about that on the episode, and when it may be appropriate or perhaps may not be appropriate to use a lawyer. To catch the full podcast of episode 48 of the Family Matters Show, go to our website, bryantmckinnon.com.au, or go to wherever you get your podcasts.